Guys, stop apologizing for being proud of yourself. Sometimes people that talk to me, they'll be like, oh my God, they'll be like, I'm sorry, man. I feel like I'm just talking about myself. I'm like, hey man, listen, it's okay to believe in yourself around me, buddy. Okay? You're giving me hope. When good shit happens to people, I get hopeful. Cause that's the positive about being selfish.
Welcome to FredTalk, where if you're not learning, hopefully you're laughing.
Big kid energy. Welcome to the FredTalk podcast, baby. The podcast about getting better and having fun and life and all those good things. I hope that you're out there living a life that when people ask you, hey, so what's new? You go, you know what, man? Same shit, different level. Where you can proudly say that, right? Where that means you found your shit and you're just progressing in that thing and you fulfilled and you out here like, hey. Guys, today's episode is long overdue. I got my mom on, baby. Me and my mom are just on here. This is pretty much what a phone call is with her. There's laughs, there's real shit, there's irrationality, there's fun, there's good vibes, good attitudes, craziness. I guess that's irrationality, but you know what I'm saying? There's two of those. There's those two servings because we're both on there. For context, Amanda is my sister and Jalen is my brother. They mentioned them. It's a part of the story. We talk about her upbringing, the abuse she went through from her mother, also my father, recovering from that, meeting my dad, you know. My biological father was a drug kingpin, and my stepdad, who raised me, is now an NYPD officer. So we talk about that. Then we get some of just my mom's views on things and shit like that. And then we make a fun little announcement at the end. I'll give you a hint. You're going to be seeing more of my mom. So that'll be behind the Patreon wall as well. So when that drops, make sure to sign up. Guys, keep sharing my stuff. Subscribe, rate, review, whatever we've been doing has been helping. I'm going to be putting out more content on a consistent basis because now we're going to have this Patreon and your boy's trying to make some money off this. So when I launch the Patreon, help me out. It'll be $5 a month. I promise you to be worth it. You're going to be like, this motherfucker should be charging more. That's how I want you to feel with this $5. My Patreon's going to be like a 99-cent Arizona iced tea. That's too much for 99 cents. Too much iced tea for 99-cent Arizona. That was actually a joke from my buddy Clark Simpson from Roosevelt High School. One of the funniest things. He told me that in the morning, and I never forgot that. So I'm glad I got to use that here and give him credit. Funny ass motherfucker, Clark Simpson. Guys, without any further ado, we're gonna go to the episode with my mom. If you have any questions, please let me know. She wants questions. She loves attention. She's me. I'm her. Yay. Guys, without any further ado, give it up for Rose Mercado. Oh, hold on. Yay. I love you, Mom. All right, Ma. So the way I envisioned this was like me telling you, like, you know, to make the sound quality good, like we need better lighting. We need more, you know, like a microphone, stuff like that. And you'd be like, first of all, I'm your mother. For some reason,
nigga, I'm in the hood. The lighting you're going to get in the background is from the hood. The noise is people either shooting, getting mugged, some shit going on out there. Okay.
The light
and the mic, there is no mic here. Like, no, I'm not in the studio.
Well, we got to get you a mic. You got to be a little professional. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Jesus. I am professional.
The light is not coming from the hood. It's coming from the sun, Mom. You can't.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So how long have you been this crazy?
Wow. How long? How long have I been this crazy? I've been crazy for a very long time. I'm just
by crazy, I mean like the outspoken, like, because how long have you been like Rose, like you, like, would you say?
Me, honestly, when I left your father.
Really?
Yes. When I left your father, I just let me just like, no, I will never let anybody shut me down or put me in the corner. I'm going to be who I am. I've always been a quiet girl growing up, shy. You know, I had abuse. I was being, physically abused, sexually abused. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I was always quiet to myself. I was always shy. I was very, submissive. I did what I was told. And, coming from adults, you have to listen. So when I left your father, I just said, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this to myself, because from here on, what I do and who I am and how I act, my kids are going to pick up from that.
Yeah.
So I needed to make sure that you and Amanda knew that it was okay to speak up. You could be wrong. There's a way to speak up. There's a way to make your point come across.
Yeah.
But speak your mind. No one should be able to tell you, no, you can't, you won't, and you shouldn't. No. Give me a reason why you think I shouldn't and I won't. And just don't let people just tell you no and you'll be like, oh, okay, no problem. No, not me.
Yeah.
Amanda has a lot of that in me, in her, where Amanda always questioned every goddamn thing I told her to do. But why?
Oh,
but what's going on? Like, that was just Amanda.
A monster of your own making. Now you got to deal with that. You're like, she called me the other day, like, Mom was talking about this, and she just called me to vent. So I was just like, yeah. But I was like, y'all the same people.
And and I know exactly what she called you for, and she's right. And I still haven't told her that she's right. I still haven't told her.
She'll appreciate
and she was right. She was right 100%. Because I just realized that when I mentioned it to
real quick, so people understand what we're talking about. It was a situation where it's like a mom and a son. The son wanted to move out. He had tried to talk to the mom. The mom was like really not having it, trying to convince him to stay. So he just kind of left abruptly. And the mom was like, hurt her feelings. And you sympathize with that because you're also a mom. You're like, and essentially, like, there's no right way. Either way, she was going to be upset because her boy's leaving. And you were trying to do, I guess you were coming from the stance of like, Amanda, you don't understand. You're not a mom, blah, blah, blah.
So when I told, it was my neighbor, my friend. And when I told her, because she came down and she was crying, she was upset and everything. And then when I told her the conversation I had with my daughter, she was like, she's right. She's right. If he would have told me 2 weeks ago, a year ago, he told me a few months ago that he might be leaving in 3 years. And I was hysterical. So no matter when he told me, he would have told me, I would have still felt the same way.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, God damn, now I gotta go tell this bitch I'm sorry. Like, fuck. And I'm hearing her, but I knew what I had to deal with. I still haven't told your sister.
Yeah.
And I will, but I haven't told her. But then I said, you know what? Yeah, she was right. She was right. And it's true. There really is no way of anyone telling you, your kids telling you they're leaving. There's just no way.
Yeah,
I was used to you too, because you knew when you were leaving, you knew what you were going to do. You knew what you were going for. Amanda, at the age of 14, that bitch just said, I'm leaving at 18. So we were just waiting for 4 years.
Yeah.
She's leaving. She's leaving. She ain't staying in New York. She's going to leave. And then Jalen, I know it'll be hard when he leaves, because I know it. For a fact, I know it's going to be hard. But you know what? It's part of life.
Yeah, to let your kids go.
You have
some people that convincing the kid to stay is a weird, like, it's like temptation. Like, you're really doing it for yourself, and then you try to mask it as like, no, this is for you. The world is a scary place, but then that it halts like the growth opportunities and all that.
And you also have to understand, when you're married, and a lot of people don't really realize until the moment comes, and why a lot of divorces happen after your empty nest, is because you're so used to the routine, taking care of the kids, the husband, doing this, doing that. And then when they leave, you're like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do today? My kids are not here. And then you figure, and you look at the person next to you, like, nigga, who the hell are you? Because you've been so involved. You've been so involved with your kids that you just forget. It becomes a routine. And this is why, being married to my husband for so long, 29 years, I always made it my business to have that adult time with my husband. You guys went to DR for the whole summer.
Who put you onto that? Because I feel like
no one. I figured it out on my own. I figured it out on my own. Because a lot of people, I used to see it, whether it was a movie, whether it was a true story or something. I used to always be like, oh my God, is that going to be me when I turn 50 or 40 or when my kids leave? I don't want that because I love my husband.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person to be like, now what the hell? Now we're bored. Now we're bored of each other. Like, what the hell?
Like, yeah, who are you?
Exactly. So I always made it my business that there's nothing wrong, guys, with you taking adult time. If you have kids and you're married, take that adult time for yourself and your partner, your husband, your spouse. So, you know.
Well, so before we get to that, what was the healing process for you after my dad? Because my dad was physically, psychologically, emotionally, it was all the abusives to you. And you were with him for 7 years. It was 7 years of abuse. He physically abused you when you were pregnant with me. You tried to kill yourself twice. I'm trying to go. I don't want to harp too much on that because I want to talk about more of like you getting through all that. But I just want to give people the bullet points on the type of anguish you went through those 7 years. So what was that healing process like for you?
Well, first of all, I have to tell you, when that relationship was over and done with, I didn't cry. I wasn't heartbroken.
Yeah.
I wasn't heartbroken at all because I knew I needed to get out. I knew it. It was either I'm going to be dead one day, I'm not going to make it, or I'm going to have to run with these kids. My healing process were you and Amanda. My mission in life was to make sure that I had to be around because you niggas were not going to come out anywhere near what this person was. Yeah. It wasn't going to happen. It was just not going to happen. I wasn't going to let it happen. And I guess the universe heard me. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. I do believe in God, but I believe in the universe. I believe in the spirits. I believe in the energy.
You're a Dominican woman. We all know you believe in the spirits.
You know I do. But you know I do. So I knew somebody out there heard me because not too long after that, he got locked up for 18 years for a lot of other shit. Yeah. So you know what? I saw my karma. Because what better way? And that was part of my healing. He was not around to disrupt my healing process.
That must have been a huge weight off your shoulders.
Yes, he was not around. He was just not around to disrupt you, to disrupt my children, to disrupt my life, disrupt my marriage. He just was not around. He was at my mercy because every time he called, can I speak to my kid? He was at my mercy.
No, it wasn't even that. You had to talk to the answer machine. Esta llamada es de una.
Yes. So, do I fucking decline this nigga or do I fucking take the call? Like, let's see. How long am I going to leave him waiting? So, that was part of it. And, you guys went through graduation, birthdays, a lot of accomplishments in your life, sports. Yeah. All that, me and Joey enjoyed it.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was our moment.
Yeah.
So that was my healing process.
Yeah. What was your first, from the time he got locked up? So that's a huge weight, right? What was the next, time you felt like you caught a break? Like, oh shit, things are looking a little bit better right now. Like
when I moved out of that apartment.
The one on Bruce Avenue.
Yes.
Okay.
When I moved out of there.
So changing your location kind of helped your mind be like,
I mean, nigga, I just moved right around the corner.
Yeah, you did. We moved down the street.
I literally moved right around the corner to a cheaper apartment.
Yeah.
A cheaper apartment. I found something for me and Joey. That was the first thing. The second thing was getting rid of the furniture and having things that me and Joey had together, not my past.
Yeah.
So once, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mom. Sorry.
So once I did that and the space that we have in this apartment, I was like, okay, we're getting it. We're doing this. The second thing was when I got married. Oh. When I got married, that was like, wow, I'm showing my kids. I'm not saying marriage is, oh my God, that is, the thing. But for me, it was a lot of validation for me.
No, that's good. Yeah. I like that you have your perspective on marriage. It makes sense.
Do. Yeah. For me, it was validation because I didn't have that in my life. I didn't have that. I only have validation from my father. Yeah. But I really didn't have any validation from anyone else. Everybody else just was out to hurt me, So once I got married and I found someone that lived with me for 7 years and helped me raise my kids and was still there with me, like, this bitch is crazy, but the nigga was still there, And for him to actually say, let's go, let's do this, I was like, yeah, I could have gone through a drive-through, like, let's go to McDonald's afterwards, City Hall, but, he wanted the wedding. And it was beautiful because you guys were part of my wedding.
It was cool, walked me
down the aisle, Amanda was my flower girl. I just wanted my family to be part of it, not my parents, just my family, my immediate family, which were you guys and Joey.
Yeah, and then some of their friends, because I remember grinding up on some older women. I was like 13 or something like that. I was definitely grinding up on all your friends, like, oh, hell yeah, this is great.
That's another thing, our friends were like our cheerleaders. Like, everybody to this day still speak about that wedding because it was it was, a lot of love. There was a lot of love.
And it was $5,000. You can't beat that. I mean, that's goals right there. Like, that's a five. The numbers I'm hearing are at least like, people getting married is like 25 grand. I'm like, what?
And it was, the best part about it was everybody contributed to this wedding. The DJ, the bartender was a cop,
Yeah.
Everybody, the place we got married was the place we used to hang out every Thursday night on the weekend. We used to go hang out up and down. So everybody was like, yes, let's do this. And it was just great. It was just great.
So you go from a drug, you mentioned cop. So my people that don't know, my stepdad's a retired NYPD officer. But my biological father was a drug kingpin. So how was it going from a drug kingpin to a cop? And what was your thought process with all that?
Well, first of all, he wasn't a cop when I met him. He was in the process. He was still being investigated. Joey's 2 years younger than me. So in my brain, are we going to make it? Is this going to happen? Oh, he's just saying he's going to be a cop. Like, what the hell? Whatever. Like, that was the least on my mind. But as time went by and his dream was coming true, I was like, wow. He always had like a mature mind. This nigga was talking about finances and talking about 401ks and, medical shit. I was just thinking like, what the hell my kid's going to eat today? Like, what am I doing to survive? Not knowing that now 20 something years later, we're okay. We're good. We're comfortable, So when he became a cop, it was like, wow, okay. And I always told him, when you retire, you make sure that speech, nigga, you say, and my wife, I want to hear my name. Because we all were here to support him.
Yeah.
The late nights, the shifts, me with the kids and doing, like, we all just did our part. Yet in every picture you see of our family, we never had one sad day.
No, you guys, I don't think I ever heard you guys argue, really.
We never.
I didn't realize how good I had it growing up, because like I'm from the hood and all that, but I told people, I was like, my house was all full of love. Like, friends used to come over, blah, 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 that stuff, which is like super lucky. I wouldn't, change any of that. So I love how your actions, they were all impactful, like moving out of the apartment so we can go to another place just to psychologically get away from that space. And then the reaction of like this, I don't know if obviously I don't think you did it consciously, but going from a drug kingpin to a would-be cop, when you met him, I think that is also telling. It's like, you were literally like, I'm doing up all the shit that I'm doing all the different shit that,
Well, I had 4 things in my box that I needed to have in this one person. And it was, actually, I think it was more. I don't want any baby mama drama. I can't have a man with kids. I can't do it. And I know it's very hypocritical of me to say it, but I just don't. I didn't want to deal with that because I was crazy and I still am. I would have to kill a bitch. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want a drug deal. I wanted someone to have a 9-to-5 job, whatever job it was, let it be legal and let him come home.
That's where
I didn't want to deal with, is he coming home today? I didn't want to deal with that.
Amanda.
And I wanted someone to love me. I didn't want to love the person more than that person loved me. I did not want that. You understand?
Yeah. I know that. I
didn't want to do that because I think you posted something a while back and it just stuck with me. You know, when you love someone more than they love you, you're on their time. You're on their schedule. Because they know that you love them to death and you'll go the extra mile. I loved someone to death and I just, you know, I ended up getting screwed, if it was love at all, because I was too young to even tell you that. I do know the definition of love today. I know the definition of love. You don't hurt the person you love. You don't mistreat that person. And you're there through thick and thin. You're there.
Yeah.
That's what love is about.
Yeah.
As far as this nigga just said, I love you. As far as, you know, you guys seeing us argue, we made it a point to never do that. I grew up with an abusive mother, always abusing my dad, you know, verbally, physically. My mother was just extra.
I mean, she ran out.
And she still is to this day, you know, and I saw cops come in and out of my house, take my father out. Back then, they didn't ask questions. They just took the man out. And I didn't want that. I refused to. And Joey was not that person either. If Joey ever lost his shit, I can guarantee you it was because I fucking took him there. Because that was never in him. I took him there. And then I would feel bad like, what?
That's interesting because as a man, I've had girls where I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like you're doing this on purpose, and then acting like you're doing these little things that aren't overt, but I know you're doing something to piss me the fuck off, to put me in a position for you to be like, oh my God,
I'm the victim.
Yeah. Oh,
because it happens. You can snap. You can snap, and it's true.
Yeah.
And I would never have wanted him to get to that point where he would lay his hands on me, because if he did, I think it would destroy him more than what it did to me. It would do to me. Because he's not that person.
How did you?
He's not.
Did you find it difficult to trust him at the beginning since you had went through so much?
If this nigga got home 5 minutes late, I thought he was fucking.
So you were crazy.
I was jumping all over him. I was physically abusive.
Mom.
Yes. I'm not proud to say that, but that's what happens. And word of advice to everyone, when you get out of an abusive relationship, you need to dedicate time to yourself. You need to work on you.
Yeah.
Because if you go into another relationship, you're taking that shit with you.
Yes. Yeah.
And it happened. And I realized, and, you know, I never forget, I realized it, that it was just so horrible what I was doing to him. It was just so bad because he never challenged. He never was like, he was never, ever.
So you were just being mean. He was a nice guy and you were just like beating him.
I was just a horrible person. Horrible to him. And then one day, you know, he was like, I'm going to move. Like, and I was like, what? And I was like, you know, thinking, and I used to watch back then, believe it or not, I used to watch Oprah. And I never forget an episode of a man that was being abused by his wife, and he was a cop. No, I'm sorry, he wasn't a cop. No one believed him. No one believed him that this woman was being abusive. And he just never knew how to say nothing. And you know what? For him to sit at a station, because he got arrested towards the end because she used to beat herself. She used to put things in the pillowcases and hit herself. And when the cops used to come, she was all messed up. So when he had to explain this, they locked him up. And his daughter testified and said, no, my mother has been beating my father for X amount, blah, 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 blah. And Oprah had this man on her show, and he said it. I felt less of a man. When he said that, I said, fuck, I can't do this to him. Oh, I can't. Yeah. I'm going to destroy. Even if I never lasted with him, I would have destroyed him for the next woman that would deserve to be with him. You understand?
Yeah.
So you can't do that. You cannot do that. The good thing is that he stayed with me and he worked through my issues. Yeah, I'm not 100%, you know, done yet, but he worked with me. Like he told me one day, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to work through this. You might not change today. You might not change tomorrow, but we're going to do this.
How long?
So I knew he truly loved me. I'm still working on it, motherfucker. I'm still working on it.
When did you start going to therapy? Because I remember that
I started going to therapy when Jalen went into school.
Ah, okay.
When Jalen went to school, kindergarten, daycare. When he went into school and I dropped him off, something snapped.
Yeah.
I started getting flashbacks from growing up, my mother, and like just seeing him, the way he was hysterical, like, don't leave me, and grabbing me. Like it brought me back to my childhood when my mother used to drop me off at school and just leave for months.
Oh,
And
shit.
yeah. So that, like, it brought back memories. And I was like, wait a minute. And I kept remembering certain things. And I kept asking my father questions. He was like, no. I don't know what you're talking about. No, mamita, that never happened. No, me, no. Still protecting my mother, because to this day, he still protects this woman. And I was like, something's all right. And then at that time, I was also going through issues with your sister. She was rebelling in a way that it was just like, I wasn't connecting with her as a mother and daughter. I was becoming her friend. Hey, what's up? But I wasn't her mother.
Oh.
And I couldn't let that happen.
Why do you think you did that? Like, try to be her friend?
Because my mother was never my mother.
Oh.
My mother was never my mother. I always thought it was an issue between mother and daughter. Like, there was just no connection. I loved her, don't get me wrong. But her feistiness, like, she used to challenge me, was like, this bitch is going to try me now. Like,
Yeah.
And I just had to figure out. And then I, going to therapy, I found out so much more, that it had a lot to do with my mother. I was treating my daughter, except for the abuse, I was treating my daughter emotionally disconnected, like my mother to this day treats me.
Wow.
My mother's just not maternal. I knew I was.
Yeah.
So I knew something, I had to work on it. Like my mentor, or, Amanda's godmother, thank God for her, said to me a couple of years ago, you were always an observant. Annie was my social worker.
Yeah.
Growing up. And she said to me as an adult, you were always an observant child. You always analyzed. You sat back in the corner, but you always looked at everyone and you analyzed everything. And then you came and participated because you already had a plan in your head. And to this day, I'm like that. I am.
Yeah.
I'm just very vocal about it now.
Yeah. Damn.
So.
Damn. Yeah, makes me sad that you were abusive to Joey, to my stepdad. That's new information for me. I'm like, I had to process that mid show. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was, and I regret it. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life. Believe me. I know.
Yeah.
He just never deserved that from me.
Yeah.
And never.
I think also too, because you guys are so not that now, that I'm like, how could they ever, how long have you been together? 30 years?
29.
29 years?
Yeah.
That's
and during 29 years, we never took a break. We never separated. We never, like I said, we stuck through a lot of shit. If you knew Joey, his background was way worse than mine. It was nowhere even near mine for him to be such a humble person. I married my dad because my father's the most humblest person I've ever, grown to love, and love him to death, that I've known in my life. My father's so humble. So Joey's the same way. Joey's the man that you come home, he's like, my wife. Relax. Let's do this, and then that's it. And I look at him, then I get mad. I'd be like, how could you be so calm? Like, how? He goes, because I'm not going to let it stress me. It's not that big of a deal, my wife. And then I sit down and be like, damn, this nigga's right.
Yeah. That's good. He gives you a different perspective. So
he balances me out. He does.
So, all right. I want to ask you about something. One of your quotes, broke niggas love to philosophize. You were walking in the little park and I forgot what we were talking about. And you was like, yeah, broke niggas, they love to philosophize. These motherfuckers want to cut. What's your explanation on that?
They want to justify why they broke, but they don't do nothing to progress. They don't do anything. And every broke nigga, if you notice, always has a dream, but they never accomplish it. They never accomplish it. They just don't. Like, I just don't have tolerance for that. I hear people and I'm like, really? How long you been broke for? Like, oh, I'm going on my 10th year. Like, really? Already down to 3 kids. And then they still keep popping kids. Because that's the best part, you know. That's the best part.
Yeah, broke people. Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays as a woman, you find a man, let me tell you something. A man wants a woman with an apartment. He wants her with her own ride. He wants the bills to be paid 50-50. Ain't no more than, man, I'm taking care of you. That shit ain't gonna happen.
There's guys asking for 50-50 and they want the girl to cook. To take over all the cooking. It's crazy. And then you see in these videos on social media about what do you bring to the table? It's like, why are you having this talk right now? What the fuck are you like I don't know. Like,
it's true. It's true. And you know, and it's horrible. It's horrible. I can understand. Listen, Joey and I had our struggles, money. You guys never ever knew about it. Because we never ever
we didn't
expose that to you guys. You guys don't know how the bills were paid, what wasn't paid to pay this. We took from Peter to pay Jack. Like, you just never knew anything.
Yeah.
And that wasn't your problem. That wasn't your issue. That was us as adults to make sure that you, as our children, were taken care of. You understand? And that's something that I saw with my father and my mother. That's one thing I could say about my mother. She could be crazy. But my mother was a hustler.
Yeah.
My mother used to do the numbers and let's do this. And
the numbers, what's the numbers?
The numbers was like a raffle. She used to go around the neighborhood and you would pick a number. And then depending if the number came out, you would get the raffle, whether it was a blanket or whatever. But she would charge you like $5 per number. You understand what I'm saying? But my mother was a hustler. There was a factory around the corner where they used to make coats.
Yeah.
And I remember all the sisters, all my aunts were down there working 12, 14 hours a day. So that hustling side, your sister has it, I have it, we all have it.
Yeah.
At one time I had 2 jobs.
Yeah, I remember that you were getting up at like 4 a.m. to go to New Jersey or something like that.
Exactly. And then to come home, pick you guys up and go right around the corner to Meddy's Travel and answer phones.
And at the travel agency, yeah.
Okay. And on top of that, I was on the system. I had to get on the system because I had to make bills. It wasn't even enough. So I had to get 2 jobs to make sure that I got everything together.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, when people tell me, oh, because I didn't have this. No, nigga, you know what? Look at your life.
Yeah.
You don't know what surviving is, trying to, you know, what are my kids going to eat today? And no one knocking at your door. You want a gallon of milk? Do you want this? And that was hard, living with someone that gave you everything, of course. Nothing ever was, you know, missing in my house. I had everything I wanted. Yeah. But if I had to do it all over again, I don't want that life, because the consequences that came behind that were horrible.
There's a lot of people that would get back in line for something like that. Or they're in some type of thing like that where they're like, oh, I'm secure here. I got the money coming in. He's fucking. Yeah,
I see some reality shows that I stopped watching because they're just fucking stupid bitches to me.
Yeah.
Listen, what you do when you teach your kids that it's okay, just because you're a housewife, it doesn't mean you're not contributing. You're not bringing into the house. You are.
That's important.
You really are.
Yeah, I'm trying to be
because you're raising the kids. You're making sure these kids are going to school, blah, blah, blah. Your man just got to get up, get dressed, and go to work. That's it. You're left with everything. And a lot of people learned that during the pandemic, when they were stuck home with the wives. Like, how the fuck are you doing this?
Yeah.
And they learned to appreciate the wives. Or they got frustrated and a lot of domestic violence, but a lot of people did learn to appreciate their spouse, their partner, whether it was a man, whether it was a woman. Yeah. But you learn. Yeah. You learn. In a relationship, it has to be that way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be monetarily. You don't have to contribute money. It's not about the money.
No, it just got to make sense. You just got to like not think about what society's doing and figure out what you really like and find somebody that knows that. And then you divide the shit that way.
You come home. You come home to a cooked meal. Your kids are clean. Your house is clean. Everything. You come, you sit down. You have your wife come. She serves you, whatever. And, appreciate that woman. Appreciate her.
Yeah.
Because y'all niggas then want to go and get yourself a 20-year-old that this bitch is talking about when we going to order out. What we eating today? We having some Italian food? No, bitch. No. And that's how we end up in jail, because we cut a nigga. Like, we'll kill a nigga because we will. Do you see the craziness, how it comes out? Yeah.
You're just creating this world where you got to kill somebody. I noticed that with parents. After you have a kid, everybody becomes kind of a murderer, because they, out of nowhere, parents be telling you how they'll kill somebody for their kid. I'm like, bro, nobody's talking about that right now. What are you doing?
Oh, but 1,000%.
What's up?
I take that to heart.
Look at you. I take that right now.
Heart.
Hype.
Listen, I don't want to hear that, oops, I'm sorry, I pulled your kid by the arm. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear any of that. I just, when it comes to my family, my husband and my kids and my father, I don't want to hear it.
Every mom right now is like, yes, girl, keep going. Yes.
And shame on those mothers that don't think that way.
Shame on those moms that. Oh well, I guess my bad. You did have your mom run out on you. So
I did, and I can. That's why I can say it.
Yeah,
that's why I can say it.
That's true.
Because when you pick up,
that's true,
and you say today, I don't want to be a mother and I don't want to be a wife. Guess what? I'm packing my shit and leaving these motherfuckers right here.
That has a ripple effect. That has a ripple effect.
Okay, and then you have a man, a father that you're like, oh my God, and you're cooking. You learn how to cook, and you have your brothers and your father eating beans like soup, but they're swallowing that shit because we have to survive. We have to survive. So what happens to that? Two things. You decide in life, are you going to be better than her? Because I am. And that was my goal for me as a child. I would never do that to my kids. And when I had you, I knew the sacrifices and I knew what I was doing. I was sacrificing a lot.
People say there's like a new sense of motivation when you have a kid. Did you get that? Like you were like, because you said that earlier. You said, I got to figure this out for my kids. But like, what does that feeling feel like?
Yeah, it feels amazing because you have a purpose in life.
Wow.
You have a purpose in life. You're going, for me at least, at 16, 17, when I had you, I felt like I was in war every day. I was ready for the battle every night. I was ready for it. I didn't know what was going to happen, how I was going to come out this battle, fucked up half of the time, but I survived it. And the next day I was ready because I wasn't going to let you see me down. I was not going to let you see that because I didn't want you to carry that with you.
Yeah.
You were such a happy kid. You were such a, mommy. It was like, I didn't want to ruin that for you.
And I think I definitely have some, some of the things I experienced are from witnessing that trauma. And I've talked about on this podcast a lot about it on my Dolo cast, experiencing trauma and going to therapy for it and all that. But like, you're the person that actually went through it. Like you said, you were literally at war every single day.
Yeah, I was. And then you grew up and you didn't remember half of the shit. So that was hard for me because it was a challenge for me. Like, oh my God. And I used to tell my husband all the time, we used to talk about it. When it comes out, it's going to be bad.
Really?
When he starts remembering shit, it's going to be bad, my wife.
I didn't know I forgot a bunch of stuff.
Yes. And then when you started remembering, I was like, fuck, like I got to deal with this. I had to relive it again when I went to visit you. And we relived it and we stood up late talking because you have pieces of stories. You just didn't have the endings or the middle or the start. You just have pieces.
That helped me so much because I had just finished reading a book on epigenetics and how your environment can turn on and off genes depending on the environment, what happens, and abuse or witnessing abuse can have a sense of whatever that codes for whatever genes that express their ways behaviorally in certain things. And I was matching a lot with what the guy was saying. So I was like, oh shit, this might be onto something here. So when you told me all that and filled in all the blanks, I was like, oh, that's why I'm fucking feeling like a crazy person right now. And then it was able to make a lot more sense for me. And then I think I went to therapy shortly after that, and we were able to
because what the issue was that I never, and I know a lot of people, whatever, I really don't care, including him, say, well, you push shit in my kids' heads. No, No.
No, you never
If I
talk
did
shit about
that,
him.
no, never.
Never.
I never,
Zero.
I never, if anything, we took you, we,
Yeah.
meaning my husband and I, took you and Amanda because you were underage to go see him in jail. I traveled to Atlanta to take your sister to go see him.
Yeah.
I did the impossible.
That
relationship, he fucked it up. That had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
The problem with you was that you put him on such a high pedestal that I needed for you to figure it out. I was not going to be that one to tell you, no. I do remember one day, I don't know if you remember, that I was washing dishes and was sitting at the dining table. And I guess he had called you from jail. And I don't know what he told you, but you felt like rah, rah, rah. You felt like you were on top of the world and you got a little snippy. And I turned around and I said, oh, you want to see how good? Because you were saying my father this and my father that. And da, when he comes out. And I was like, okay, so guess what, nigga? I'm going to give you a fucking reality check right now. And I had my album. I used to take pictures of the beatings. And I said to you, this is exactly what I said to you. This is what your king was doing to your queen.
Wow.
And I went back to wash dishes. And it was the hardest thing as a mother I had to do because I heard you crying in the back.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and I took the album and I destroyed the album because I knew that album, and Joey never wanted me to keep those pictures.
Yeah.
But I knew I needed it for one day. I knew it because my mission in life was you were not going to be that person. I would have killed you.
I deserved that. That was a good move. I think that was a really good move.
And I did. And after that, it was like, and you still gave him the benefit of the doubt. And you still, wanted the relationship with your father. And I let you have it.
Yeah. And then I had to find that on my own. I had to find that on my own. And
you had to find that on your own. Your sister just always knew. Your sister was a rebel since she was a year and a half because she used to challenge him.
Yeah.
She used to challenge him.
Yeah.
And for that, I love my daughter to death. And I love my son too. I love you to death. But
I love you too, Mom.
But my daughter was just, I'm going to fight you, nigga. I'm like 2 feet high, but I'm going to fight you. I'm going to jump on you because you're not going to hurt my mother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just never exposed you to that. I just never, that last incident, she was there. She was there. She had, she experienced it. And that was one of the reasons why we had to move. Because every time somebody came to the apartment, she wanted to give everybody a tour of what his father did to her mother, and what he did to her. Oh, he threw me. He used to do this. And I used to be like, no, we got to
Good for Amanda.
We got to go.
Speaking of Amanda, earlier you said when you went from the drug kingpin to the cop, you were thinking, I no drug dealers. No, I want somebody that's a working man, working a 9 to 5. I was having a conversation with a man on the phone one day. This is when she first met the love of her life that she's with now. She was like, I told myself I ain't fucking with no hood niggas anymore. Okay. I need me a nigga with a tax ID. Okay. I want to see that tax ID, nigga. If you want to fuck with me now to get in this pussy, you're going to need a tax ID. And so when your thing, I was like, okay, I'm seeing the. And
yeah, because you have to have your expectations. You have to have high expectations. You do. Listen, some people say, oh, you can't aim high because you're not J-Lo. You're not, bitch, I feel like J-Lo. I do. I'm on
That's
top
all
of the
that matters. If you feel like J-Lo, you there.
I got my Ben Affleck right here, sitting right there on that sofa.
He does look like
I'm sorry. Ben Affleck. I got my A-Rod. No, nigga, you're not A-Rod, okay? But you understand? I feel like, like every woman should feel. You should feel loved 1,000%.
Damn.
And that's one thing I have to say about you and Jalen, my boys, that you guys love your women. You love them.
Yeah, it's fun.
You cater to them. You make sure that they're okay. And those little things, and that's not all me. That has a lot to do with Joey too. You saw a lot of Joey, you don't get embarrassed going to the store and buying tampons or buying pads because
I'll put a tampon on my ass. I don't even care anymore.
I remember the first time I had to wear a tampon because we were going to the beach. My husband helped me put a tampon. Like, we were trying to figure it out. 4 tampons later, we got it.
Because you're a pad person, right?
I'm a pad person. I'm old school. I need the flow to come out. All that shit gotta come out. I don't know how these girls do it. Plug that shit. I'm not plugging anything. No.
Mom, I think tampon technology might work for you today.
No.
Well, we don't have to worry about that in a couple of years, right?
Fuck you, nigga. Fuck you.
All right, Ma. So if somebody's listening to this and they are in an abusive relationship or just getting out of one or thinking about getting out of one, what do you tell them? What are you thinking?
Whether you're a man or a woman, if you're in an abusive relationship, whether you saw it growing up or your mother's still in that situation because, oh, he's the father of my kids and blah, blah, blah. We're in a different era, guys. Run. Go. Go. It's not going to get better. They're not going to get better. They're not going to get better. Look up the meaning of a narcissist. Yeah. And that is what every abuser is.
Yeah.
They're not going to change. It's all about them. And at the end of the day, they're going to make you feel guilty for them hitting you. And you're going to wind up apologizing at the end of the beating. I'm sorry, I made you. No, leave. And you know something else as human beings, we know when a relationship is toxic, when it's bad.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't wait for it. And if you don't have kids, it's even better.
Oh,
leave.
that's, yeah.
If you don't have kids, because I always hear women say about the kids, but the kids what? If you stay, what are you teaching your kids? First of all, you're teaching your daughter that it's okay for a man to abuse you, to beat you, and for you to stay because you want to be that rah-rah loyal woman. No, you're dumb.
If you're the henpecked man, you're showing your son that it's okay for a woman to
that it's okay to beat a woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So think about it. Think about it. And go get help. Work on yourself. Love yourself. When you look at yourself, because listen, I look at myself every day in the mirror. When my husband leaves every day, he gives me a kiss in the forehead. He goes, I love you. I've been, I love you too. And when I leave in the morning, when I used to go to work in the morning, I used to look at myself in the mirror and I still do. I'd be like, damn, I'm so fine. I'm such a fly bitch. I am.
I know. I love that.
I love myself. I love who I am. When I wear pants, I'd be like, oh, I'm a snack today. This is me. Because if I don't do it, and then when I go out and I see people, oh my God, you look beautiful. I'd be like, oh, I know, girl. I know I do. But I'm glad you realized it. People in my office be dying all the time. Like, oh my God, when I went bald, like I shaved my head.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how could you? Because I could. Because I'm confident. I could do that. I could do it.
I love it. I feel like more people need to have this attitude as opposed to like this. So I feel like there's a lot of fake humbleness. People get a compliment, they're like, "Oh no, blah blah blah," and it's like, "Yo, just fucking hype yourself up." You ain't hyping yourself up. Nobody's doing that.
No one's gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
No one is gonna do it for you. Don't wait for your husband. Don't wait for your wife. Don't wait for your girlfriend, your boyfriend to tell you that you look good. No, bitch, you look good. If you feel good, you look good, you are good. Ooh. By the time they come and tell you, you be like, thank you. But you don't need that validation.
You don't.
You know you do. You don't.
Yeah. I thought about this the other day. Not caring about what people think is obviously about the negative stuff. But you got to do it to the positive as well. Because if you rely on the positive validation from external, like from people and stuff, then there's a value to it. So when you stop getting it, then you're going to feel like shit. So you also have to not care. You have to recognize it, I feel like, but don't let it get too deep. Same thing with negative comments, because some negative stuff could be some critique, I feel like. And then, on the other side too, like with the positive stuff as well. Like,
yeah, listen, I've come to a point, I'm 52 years old, and I've come to a point in my life where I don't have tolerance for a lot of things. And I've always said this to you guys and everyone around me. When you're young, you have such a big circle of friends. Oh, my friends. The older you get, that circle starts shrinking. Because now you're mature, you're at another level in your life. And that's where I'm at today. If you haven't been my friend for over 20 years, bitch, you're not my best friend. I don't know.
That is just stupid. You could meet new people and hang out.
But I don't want, no, I don't got time for that. I don't want to meet people. Listen, that's right.
We are so opposite on that.
Listen, yes. Because I'm right up that way. If I break up with my husband, God forbid, because he ain't going nowhere. But if I was to have my husband leave me or whatever, in the funeral. But if that was to ever happen, let me tell you something. I don't got time to meet a nigga and be like, oh, let's get to know each other. Nigga, I'm 52 years old. I don't got time for that. I don't have time for it.
Right, but what if you just told people to leave if the relationship's toxic? Now they're like, oh, well, she's saying to stay so she don't have to start over.
No, I didn't say to stay. If he was to die, he would have to die. No, I'm not saying stay. No. Okay. Listen, if the relationship is toxic, you leave. What I am saying is I don't have time to be giving someone the time of day, like, oh, let me get to know this. I'm going to live my life. Yes.
I
just don't want to do all that. No.
Yeah. No. I feel you. No, I can see that's a very deep feeling for you.
It is. And I've always told you that. It is. It's sad when they want to do something. Their joke around here was, how are we going to throw you a surprise party? You don't have friends. I'm all right with that, though. I'm all right with it. I'm good.
I'm good. I did that with Rachel. Rachel's birthday party. I was like, we're going to have a little birthday party. It was just me and her eating cupcakes. and I decorated the house, and it was just me and her. Because I know
it was the best.
She don't really fuck with people. Yeah. I don't care either way. Like, this is like, it's your birthday.
It was the best. Yeah. It was the best for me. My birthday, my wife, he wants to do like, well, what do you want? No, take me out to dinner. That's all I want. I don't want nothing else. I don't want a party. I don't want that because you're doing it for other people. And we're too old for that shit. I don't want to do none of that. Yeah. No. Or buy me a trip. I'll go on a trip or something like that's it. But no. Listen, guys, at the end of the day, you got to love who you are. And if you're not happy with who you are, change it. Change it.
All right.
That's it. Change it.
I'm loving
you guys. Your generation depends a lot on the social media. I don't got time for that either. I don't have time for that. You kids, let me tell you, you kids focus a lot on, oh my God, so didn't like my picture. They didn't like it. Or someone says, oh my gosh, you look fat. Are you pregnant? Right away, oh my God, I'm depressed. I want to kill myself. Society today?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I don't like this generation one bit. It's horrible for me to say it, but I don't. Because you guys think a lot about what other people around you say. The next generation, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a shit show.
Well, then this is a good segue to let people know that this won't be the last time they'll be seeing you. This was just an intro for the free. Let everybody get to know you because you're already on the Instagram story. You're popular. When you're in town, my Instagram numbers double to the point where, like, I remember the first time, the realization, I was like, oh, when she leaves, this shit's going to go away. And it went back down to the cut in half. They were like, okay, your mom's not here.
You sound like your sister.
Yeah.
Like when she posts anything about me, she goes, but why is everybody responding so quickly to your post? Like, I don't understand. I said, don't be hating, my daughter. Don't be hating.
I'm proud of it. I proudly say that I'm the third funniest person in the family. First is you, then it's Amanda, then is me. So yeah, we're going to be doing a show together. We're going to be covering weekly topics, current events to get your perspective, my perspective. We're going to have fun and talk some shit like we do.
I would like to do a live one too, because I want to see what everyone has to.
Oh,
I would like questions.
Yeah,
I want questions. Yes, I want questions.
Those are fun.
So for all of you out there, before we close this out, that has any questions that you can ask mommy or daddy or your friends, I'm the one.
Oh,
if y'all want to know
like
it is, yes. I don't sugarcoat, but you got to be an open-minded person where you're okay with criticism or with what I have to say.
Damn.
Because I will tell you like it is. That's it.
And we'll give people a little backstory. Growing up, our house was the place where a lot of my friends would come to hang out and talk about shit that they couldn't talk about their parents with. So I think this is a cool little thing where you could be people's like temp mom. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to talk about some deep shit and get some real motherly, raw advice. They can hit us up. But you're going to be behind the paywall from now on. I'm setting up a Patreon. What's up, Dad? Jump on. I'm setting up a Patreon. $5 a month is where they can access you. And we'll do at least, it'll be, a couple episodes or whatever a month with you. And we'll go through some videos, some funny videos of the week. It'll be a good time, Mom. We'll be hanging out.
No problem, my son.
All right. Well, I love you, Mom.
I love you more.
Ma, you're the best. Yeah. You did such a good job with the hand you were dealt. You out here like Ocean's 11. You killing it, Ma. You killing the game. You went 3 for 3 on your kids. Your youngest son just dropped an album and it's fire.
Yes.
What's the name of the album? Not Scared to Die. Scared to Live
Yes.
by
He
Brother
couldn't have
Chino.
said it any
Check it
better.
out.
He couldn't have said it any better.
That's
He couldn't
great.
have said it any better. You
That
would think
is
this
great.
nigga's a thug. You would think.
The most thugs, Amanda. I'm the second most thug, and he's the third most thug. All right, Ma, I love you so much, and I'll see you. I'll talk to you this week, but then we'll see each other next week.
All right, my son.
All right, love you.
Love you more.
Bye.
Bye.